If you want to do something, just let me know and I got another iPad and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's
update
not
my
great,
software.
but it does work.
I just need it, I follow along on the agenda because I don't print the agenda.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gilman, are you ready?
Can you just give me 1 minute? I'm having an issue with my hearing aids.
Yep, no problem. That's a lithium battery.
That is an old school. Doesn't plug in, but doesn't need to. Just hit it with a hammer, you'll be fine.
In front of you.
I'm good to go.
All right. Vice Chairman, you good?
Yeah.
Brian?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Today is November 4th, 2025. It's 10:01. There's a quorum present. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Just a reminder to silence your mobile devices, please. Bringing us to item number 2 on today's agenda is to convene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners. Bringing us to item number 3, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you can all join me for that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Item number 4 on today's agenda is public comment. Public comment is welcomed at the beginning and end of each meeting. These comments should be limited to matters not on today's calendar agenda. Public comment is again welcomed after each item on the agenda, and those comments should be limited to the agendized topic. As a reminder, public comment is limited to 3 minutes per individual. With that, is there any public comment in the courtroom today? Please come on up. State
Item number 11.
Then item number 11, you'll come up. Thank you. Is there any other public comment regarding anything that is not on today's calendar agenda? Not seeing any, we're going to move right along to item number 5, which is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of the agenda for the November 4th, 2025 meeting. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments about that agenda?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
That's good news, thank you.
County Manager Osborne, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are not.
All right. Is there any public comment regarding the agenda and the items contained within? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I move to approve today's agenda as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 6, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of the minutes from the October 7th, 2025 meeting. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments on those minutes?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, I'm good, thanks.
All right, how about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve the minutes for our October 7th, 2025 meeting as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 7 is today's consent agenda. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments about the consent agenda?
None, thank you.
All right, Vice Chairman.
I'm good, thanks.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I move to approve today's consent agenda as presented.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 8. This is discussion only. No action, no public comment will be taken. These are our committee and staff reports. And we'll kick things off at the Sheriff's Office today.
Nothing just yet.
Thank you, Sheriff. How about the Fire Protection District?
Nothing.
All right. Public Works?
I have an agenda item later.
All right. It's one of those days. How about Projects Manager Mike Northern?
Nothing to report today.
All right. Projects Manager Chris Trotta?
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Trotta, for the record.
All right.
6 projects to update today. The first one is the replacement of the water line from 580 to the top of siphon. We have completed the engineering design for the routing of the transmission line, and we are currently working on securing easements with the Nevada Division of State Lands for 3 parcels in Washoe State Park. The next one is our courthouse fence, and Lodi Iron Works is on track to start the pattern work this week. We are in conversations with Donovan's Blacksmith School / Club to provide some parts for the fence, which we're kind of excited about them partaking in the project. Excuse me. Next is the Piper's Opera House. We are currently taking bids on 12 entry doors and 5 windows for that project on the south side of the building. And we are working on seismically upgrading the column at the entry of the building. Next is the Mark Twain Community Center. That project is underway, and we are gathering submittals, and we'll start procuring long lead time items shortly. Next project is the water tank upgrades. There's 7 tanks for Virginia City, and we are reviewing the program pricing with the comptroller before seeking board approval for the water tank replacements and refurbishment for an ongoing maintenance program. Last project is the Gold Hill collection wastewater piping, collection piping, and we have executed Dow's task order 84, and we are proceeding with pre-design engineering, and environmental work is now underway for that project. And that is all I have for today, if there's any questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Great update. Commissioner
you.
Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Chris?
None, thank you.
It's all right. Vice Chairman?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, you're off the hook. All right, Austin, I know you're handling business development and IT. Do you want to do that all at the end? or-
I'd be okay with that.
All right. How about grants manager? Okay. Our admin officer? Emergency management?
Good morning, Adam Wilson, Director of Emergency Management for the record. Just an advisory, tomorrow the National Weather Service has released a severe wind. It's going to build overnight tonight, beginning at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Throughout the day, you'll see the winds increase, and then it'll be all the way through about 10 p.m. tomorrow night. They are expecting gusts over 100 miles an hour up on the ridges, so this will be severe wind. So make sure you're battening down all your hatches as it is. On Nevada Day, we were in the Carson City EOC all day supporting that event. Went off without a hitch. Thank you to County Manager Austin Osborne came by, spent a couple hours with us to see how those events ran, and I think it was a great learning opportunity. This Saturday, we'll be supporting the Jeep Posse. They'll be doing some search and rescue training, so we're going to bring out some equipment and help them get trained up better for search and rescue operations. This Thursday I'll be interviewed by the local radio station in Carson City about our upcoming Lockwood evacuation exercise. So that's a great opportunity. Thank you, Julia, for setting that up to get the word out. We have our town hall for that exercise next Wednesday, November 12th from 5:30 to 7 at the shiny new Lockwood Community Center. And then afterwards, the county manager's got some general update information for the public. So we encourage them to come to that. The following day, November 13th, next Thursday, we'll be assisting Lyon County's emergency management with their community flood awareness event. That'll be at the Dayton Community Center. Given our overlap with so many of our communities with Lyon County, we're going to partner with them for this event for their residents. Emergency managers for Storey and across the region are going to be out of state November 16th through 22nd. That's our annual International Emergency Manager Conference. And this is a big one this year, given all the upheaval at the federal level, for us to kind of, as a nation of emergency managers, come together and help get a path forward. So that's going to be a big one. And then great news, our mobile EOC was ordered last week. They estimate a really impressive 6 to 8 week delivery time on that. So we should have it by Christmas. And we're really hopeful to have it by our exercise in Lockwood in December. And that is all I have.
Great. Thank you, Adam. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments for Adam?
None, thank you, Adam.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thank you.
Adam, you mind just recapping? I didn't catch where the 100-mile-an-hour winds?
So that's gonna be ridge tops for the 100-mile-an-hour winds. So that likely won't be felt here in like the VC or Highlands area. We're kind of protected, but up on top of the summit and like the peak of Mount Davidson would see those 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Gotcha.
It'll be much more mild at only about an 80-mile-an-hour wind down here.
Just 80. Appreciate that,
The
Adam.
Weather Service has a lot of socials out on that, so.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that. All right, moving on to the BCTC.
Good morning, Commissioners. Todd Tuttle, Director of Tourism, for the record. Big thank you once again to all of the agencies that help work through the events that go on here. We had a fabulous October. Special point out to the Sheriff's Office for Public Works, Emergency Management, and being able to put everything together to make it a successful and safe events that went on. Biggest thing was the pumpkin patch trains, pretty much sold out throughout the entire time. We added a new event, which was called the Haunted Hay Wagon Rides, which also found great success. On the weekends, the Spirit Made Me Do It Saloon Crawl, a little too many spirits, sorry, was one of the most successful that we've seen. It almost had a 25% increase in what came for attendance and was well attended throughout the weekend. The costume parade doubled in size. We had the largest turnout for the costume parade on the 31st, and the C Street trick-or-treating went extremely well and smooth. A great experience for all that came to participate. The Nevada Day Parade, we had the Cemetery Gin Wagon also participating in it and got some really positive feedback for having it down there in recognition of its and the connection to Virginia City and our history there. The Statehood Ball was also very well attended with over 100 people in attendance, filling the entire dance floor, and again, quite well attended. We had the Lieutenant Governor in attendance there along with members of GOED, so it was really a great experience with it. Coming up, we have the Veterans Day Parade on Tuesday the 11th. It'll be at 11 a.m. Remember, that's 11 in the morning, not 12 o'clock as usual. We will begin lining up at 10 a.m. Road closure is expected at 10:30 on C Street. There will be a flyover, and a very large turnout for attendance for that parade also. Christmas on the Comstock is coming up. Hate to say those words so soon, but we will have the decorating contest, the Believe Again Christmas Cheer Shopping, and the Grinch Made Me Do It Saloon Crawl will be December 6th from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. The Parade of Lights will be at 5 p.m., and fireworks will be held at 6 p.m. Again, that's the first weekend in December. The second weekend, December 13th, will be the Parade of Lights at 5 p.m. and the drone show at 6 p.m. To go with it. Also coming up is the Mix and Mingle at Piper's Opera House on November 11th. That'll be at 5:30. We from the Tourism Department will be attending the National Tourism Association Conference in Ottawa, Canada, November 7th through the 13th. That's this weekend coming up. Leah Cruz will be in attendance there. We will be having and participating in the American Bus Association. It'll be held in Reno this year, January 7th through the 12th, of which we have a number of delegates to be there. We do have some special FAM tours that will be coming up for exposure for us. We're one of the first to sell out our FAM tour for those people that are coming. We've considered bringing 2 coaches to be able to make that happen. And Governor's Conference will be held on January 9th through the 10th, and we're looking forward to that. So, any questions?
Thank you for that update, Todd. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you, Todd.
Vice Chairman?
No, sounds good, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, moving right along to Planning Department.
Nothing today.
Thanks, Kathy. How about Health and Community Services?
Nothing today, thank you.
Okay, Recorder's Office?
Nothing today, thanks.
All right, Human Resources?
Good morning, Commissioners. Brandy Lopez for the record. I just wanted to give you guys a brief update. Jennifer and I attended the ICMA conference last week. It was amazing. I really want to encourage any of our county directors and management to go. it was amazing to sit and collaborate with other counties and cities and talk about the different issues that we're all facing and different ways we can work together and different strategies that they use to make things better in their communities. So we learned leadership techniques, coaching tools, employee engagement, how to lead with courage, just lots of fun and great information. So I just wanted to let you guys know it was fabulous.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments for Brandy?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. How about community development? Okay. How about our PR officer? Sorry, it's our PIO. Public Information Officer?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Julia Moreno-Fritz, Public Information Officer for the record. I just wanted to take a quick moment to share a resource that's on our county website that some folks might not know about. These are our Board of County Commission meeting recaps that I do. These are short, easy to read summaries of what was covered in each meeting, and they can be found at storeycounty.org. They go to resident information in that top menu, and then if they click Media Center, at the top of that page there's a sentence, and within that there's linked information that says visit our Board of County Commission meeting recaps, and all of the 2025 meetings are on there and they can be read and found. So I just wanted to share that just in case. That's
Thank
it.
you for that update.
Sweet.
Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments for Julia?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Julia, I think I received those by email as well. Is that possible?
Yes, yeah, you can subscribe, and it's just like you would subscribe for any of our alerts. You'll get the Board of County Commission recaps sent to your email as well.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, thank you again.
Thank you.
Lee, do you have anything for us today?
Nothing today, thank you.
All right. How about the DA's office?
No update today.
Always good. County Manager?
Thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne for the record, County Manager. Just a couple things. I'm speaking on myself, as well as our Public Business Development Officer, as well as our IT Director. Regarding the zip code project, I just wanted to continue to give you an update on the work that our team is working on that, especially Laura Mather from Business Development. There is an endeavor being looked at for all the zip codes across the county, in essence or in very rough concept, to take everything along the River District and combine it into the 89437 zip code. That would be part of Tri-Center. Potentially adding the residents to that zip code could maybe make it eligible for a post office one day. That is shooting out far. I'm not saying that's happening, but it's a potential. For the Highlands of Virginia City, a discussion of potentially combining the 89440 zip code or creating something similar to that. And then the Mark Twain zip code, looking at how it might integrate maybe with an 89437 as it comes over the hill, the tri-zip code or River District, or maybe combining an 89440. How a post office interfaces in the Mark Twain area is important. For the folks in the room and on Zoom, why this is so important is residents and businesses are, their insurance rates are being anchored to their neighboring counties. As we know, Reno, Sparks, Washoe probably has a little bit higher crime, more accidents, more types of things that insurance companies would use to determine those rates. And people in the Highlands and in Lockwood and Painted Rock are affected by that very strongly. The same thing in Mark Twain. Mark Twain, however, might benefit a little bit with the neighboring, the tax rates, but they would have exactly the same situation being anchored to the Lyon County insurance rates and all of that. There's been issues with dispatching ambulances and fire equipment in some of these areas that I know our fire district has worked very hard to resolve, but nevertheless that zip code anchor is an issue. And then one of the ones I think we're all very familiar with is the Department of Taxation uses these zip codes when you buy things at home, your Amazon purchases and things like that. The sales tax rate, not only are those residents potentially being paid 8.6% Washoe County sales tax rate, but then those dollars end up going to Washoe County instead of Storey County. This could potentially be in the millions of dollars when you look at the activity that's occurring out of Tri-Center, and we have data to suggest that that is true based on a change of Tri-Center zip code that was changed in 2018, and the data shows that there was a substantial bump in Storey County revenues at the time that occurred. Anyway, I just want to let you know that that endeavor is still going. Mark Amadei, or Congressman Amadei, has been very instrumental in helping our team with this. This is a major project of his, and we're working on ways to be able to handle this in the next couple of years. The next thing, USA Parkway update. There's some good news that came in today, actually, but I'll give you an update at Sydney. It's moving forward. It's slow and go. We're talking with NDOT every single day almost to see where that signal is, and I'm being told that the infrastructure and the foundations are almost done, that they're ready to put the mass on those foundations. It's not clear whether that traffic signal is going to be a permanent device or a temporary one. It looks pretty permanent to me from the conversations, but who knows? Nevertheless, we just want it to be green, yellow, and red. That's all we care about. That, I'm being told, is the first week or second week of November. We're in the first week. We keep saying that, but at least there's some evidence on the ground to suggest it's happening. At Waltham, I had told this board before that we're engaged in conversations with an adjacent property owner that we need cooperation from to be able to put these devices on their property. I got a response back today, some really good news that we're ready to probably have that next discussion on what we might be able to do. I want to emphasize the NDOT team is absolutely the best team I've ever worked with NDOT in the time I've been with the county, pushing almost 20 years. They are wonderful, and they've been engaged, and they're trying very hard to work with us and help each other work out these things with this matter. Next thing, I'm going to speak on behalf of the IT director. He just wanted to let you know that he's not able to make the meeting today because he's down at the 911 dispatch center, essentially redoing all of the RIMS software updates, which is a major day-long endeavor. So they're kind of getting their major software update. That's all I have.
Thank you for those updates, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, thank you.
All right, appreciate that. Before I jump over to the clerk treasurer, comptroller is on Zoom. Did you have an update for us today, Jennifer?
Good morning. Yes, I just wanted to tag on with what Randy said about the IMCA conference. I attended a few different sessions. It's really nice to hear that we're not the only one that have a ton of paper with the budget process, and everybody is really trying hard to eliminate that. So got some good ideas for some things that might change during that process. Also, in the last couple conferences we were at, AI is always a big topic. One thing that really sparked my interest was a closed loop AI process that Washoe County actually did complete. I think it's something that deserves our attention and a little bit more conversation with you all and with IT. Also, some really great community outreach ideas that I'm excited to talk to Julia about. And one really interesting session, I think, for us was on upgrading, modernizing, or building new government complexes. There were some really great ideas and different ways to handle moving into that realm. And since we're kind of moving in that direction, we found that one really interesting. On top of that, I just want to also update you that the audit is definitely on track. I should have it in my hands before Thanksgiving, and we will be bringing that to you the second meeting in December for your approval. And that's all I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you for that update, Jennifer. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments for the comptroller?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, thanks.
All right, thanks again, Jennifer. Last but never least, the clerk treasurer's office.
Nothing at this time.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for those updates. A lot of good news out there. Let's move right along to, where's board comment?
Sorry,
Do you want to do
Not today.
comment as a-
during public comment, if you
We're
will.
good. I just realized that's gone. Moving right along to item number 9, which is discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of the proposed settlement agreement in the mediation of Rebecca Parsons.
Yes, good morning, board. My name is Jared Hay. I'm an attorney with Sutton Law Corporation, appearing in conjunction with this agenda item. It results from a mediation with Rebecca Parsons, who is a former employee of the Sheriff's Office. I represented the county at that mediation, and I'm here to recommend approval of the agreement that was reached through that mediation.
thank you. Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
No, I've been told I don't have any comments.
All right. Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. In accordance with the recommendation by staff, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the proposed settlement agreement as related to Rebecca Parsons.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along to item number 10, this is discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of the schedule of project revenue and net revenue for the TRI Public-Private Partnership for fiscal year ending June 30, 2024, including the payment to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center LLC in the amount of $6,999,524 toward the county's infrastructure liability. Comptroller McCain.
Good morning again, Jennifer McCain for the record, and I also have Connie Christensen online. She's
Jennifer, hold on.
completed this audit.
Jennifer, hold on one sec, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I apologize. As an abundance of caution, I'm going to recuse from this item.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that, Jennifer.
That's okay. Sorry for rushing this. Connie Christensen is also online if you have any questions. I first want to point out that the cover page has a date typo, if you will. It should read for the years ending June 30th, 2024 and 2023, as is reflected in the body of the audit. Also, our net project revenue total was $25 million, which is up from $18.7 million in 2023. Our total payment, as stated, is $6,999,524. Actually, with this audit, the total due is $12.7 million, but last year we made a payment of $5.7 million. I'm happy to report that this is slightly lower than our budgeted amount, so there will be no need for an augment or a transfer to make this payment whole. Unless you have any other questions for me or Connie.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Vice Chairman, do you have any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
All right, how about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the schedule of project revenue and net revenue for the TRI Public-Private Partnership for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, including the payment to Tahoe Reno Industrial Center LLC in the amount of $6,999,524 toward the county's infrastructure liability.
All right, there's a motion. I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye?
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jennifer. And Connie.
Thank you. Thank you, Connie.
Thank you, Connie. All right, on item number 11, discussion for possible action. Discussion and consideration directing the future use of saloon space within Piper's Opera House following a December 31st, 2025 expiration of a lease agreement between Storey County and Ponderosa Saloon, doing business as the Old Corner Bar, and notice of retirement by current tenants. County Manager Osborne.
Chair Carmona, may I have a couple of minutes? Can I have a recess?
Absolutely.
For 2 minutes?
Yeah, we'll take just take 5 minutes or less.
Try to keep the drool.
Just a reminder, we are still live on YouTube, so keep that in mind. No jokes or inappropriate comments.
What? I would never.
I wasn't looking at you.
Yes, you were. Disapproving side eye. He was talking to you.
Dick Cheney guy.
Huh?
Dick Cheney guy.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right,
Chair Carmona, out of abundance of caution, I'm going to have to recuse from this item.
all right. Thank you very much. We're going to reconvene the meeting. County Manager?
All right. Austin Osborne for the record, County Manager. Just a small bit of background here. Right around in September, my office was given notice from the current lessees of the Old Corner Bar Saloon. It's actually the Ponderosa Saloon doing business as the Old Corner Bar, at the Old Corner Bar at Piper's Opera House. As we're aware, they lease space from Storey County that owns the building and have for quite time and have been tenants in good standing with the county the entire time they've been there. They did notice me their intent to retire and leave the business altogether and not renew or ask for a continuation of the lease agreement. They said that that lease agreement, or they would be departing at the time that the lease agreement expires, and that's December 31st, 2025, and they gave me their roughly 90-day notice that the lease agreement has for that element. That notice of intent came 2 weeks later with a caveat that there was another party potentially interested, actually at the time more than one party potentially interested in purchasing the business, and then of course that would result in a potential discussion about continuing the lease agreement or having a new lease with a successor owner of the business, notwithstanding the space in which the business is located. So alternatively, I was asked, they said if the county was not interested in moving forward with a successor business owner at that location, that the personal property in the Old Corner Bar be considered for purchase. That includes things like refrigerators and decorations and appurtenances. There's a pellet stove and some other bar stools, things like that. That they noted that whoever would take that business in the future, whether it would be Piper's Opera House or a successor, would benefit from having a bar fully loaded and ready to go. I will note too that the current lessees are with us here in the audience today, and they may have something they would like to mention during this item. So in closed, looking at all the different options here, we've had quite a bit of discussions for the last couple of years on what the future of Piper's Opera House is going to be and how that future relates to the bar space, whether that bar space would be part of the successor of Piper's Opera House, or the bar space would remain in private ownership, or maybe private ownership and complement the Opera House that's under a 501c3 different ownership or operation, and in a myriad of other different opportunities that could come in this. So what I thought was appropriate in this case was to provide for this board a range of motions. These are all potential. You could choose any of them or come up with your own or mix and mingle. But this gives you a chance and the public a chance to see what are the potential options that might be considered beyond December 31st. I will just give a quick note of the terms of the current contract. It's set at $1,800 a month, which is the same rate that we had set for another tenant of county-owned property. It ends December 31st. There's an option to renew, but I would suggest if there is a renewal that a brand new lease be considered as opposed to rolling over the current terms. And then there's no subleasing available.
Say that again?
There's no subleasing.
There is
Yeah,
no
they wouldn't be able to
subleasing.
sublet
All right.
to somebody else. I want to point to the motions, if you can give me one moment here.
I'd like to ask a question right off the bat.
Absolutely.
Regarding the Piper's Opera House, I was under the understanding that there would be a lease agreement there. Piper's would actually not be for sale. Is that correct?
Yeah, there is no intent at this point to sell Piper's Opera House.
Okay.
What we had done last year is we went to RFQ and sought respondents to a RFQ for operating Piper's Opera House as well as restoring the building and being qualified for endowments and grants and things like that that would be part of historic preservation, in addition to operating it with theater and weddings and other types of events like that.
All right.
It's important to note that we are working on right now setting that RFQ up for another round this spring. We're anticipating April, May, June, right around in there. That will go out to bid, hopefully get respondents, pick the most qualified respondent, and that respondent then would operate the entire building, notwithstanding the bar area, depending what happens today.
Okay.
The options that I have provided in the packet are on page 91 of the packet, and they include to expire the lease and take no action with an explanation, expire the lease and consider purchasing all the personal property that I described a moment ago with all the details, expire the lease, consider purchasing the personal property, and pause further action until a nonprofit is secured to manage Piper's Opera House entirely, and that perhaps the bar space might be integrated in with an RFQ for that. Or 4, expire the lease and draft a new lease for public bid, allow different folks to bid on being a tenant of that property. And 6, to expire the lease and draft a new lease with a prospective successor business owner to the old corner bar. And then, of course, expire the lease and take other alternative action that this board finds appropriate, or whatever other action that this board finds appropriate. At this point, we're asking just to give direction to staff to proceed forward. Whatever that motion is and action is, then we would begin preparing that for a future board meeting. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Austin. Vice Chairman, before I go to any potential public comment, is there, you had any questions or comments at this time?
I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be interested. We've certainly received some, I've received some feedback from the community, but would like to hear what other people have to say as well.
I agree. All right, so I'm going to open it up for public comment. Just a reminder, if you're going to participate, please get up, state your name. There is a 3-minute time period. Please keep that in mind. With that said, it's open for public comment. What is it again?
Start. Good morning, Commissioners. Tammy Megan for the record. As you may know, Bill and I have had the pleasure of running an independent business in Piper's Opera House for over 16 years. During that time, we have had 3 separate landlords, all of them seeing the value of our presence in that building. It just brings immense value to the community of having something that's off of C Street, that's not in the hustle bustle if that's where they want to be. Having a business that's open 7 days a week brings the value of safety to the community. There is someone that always has eyes on, and it's going to deter theft and vandalism to the area and the building. It also ensures that if something arises, as far as an issue with mechanical or something like that, that you have someone on site 7 days a week. We did have an issue with a flood a few years back, and had we not been there, it may have gone unnoticed for quite some time, and at that point, it could have caused immeasurable damage to the building. We love Virginia City. It's our home. We had the pleasure of having this business, and we love this historic place. The decision to make this change wasn't easy. I mean, we've got the future of our employees, the future of Piper's and the bar, the historic aspects of that. Over the years, we've built a business that complements Piper's. We provide a service when they have events for overflow. We have a quieter, family-friendly setting. So when C Street's really busy with events and things like that, then people come up and they see us and enjoy a cocktail and family. Being on B Street, we have always respected our neighbors and have not held any events to disturb the peace of our area. When the option came when the option for a successor arose, we were concerned that the dynamics of the business could drastically change. We could only think of one person who would keep that atmosphere and embrace what we have built over the last 16 years. Being raised in Virginia City, and he's a respected fireman, paramedic, and a current business owner, Ryan Brandon will do an amazing job at keeping the old corner bar at the thriving place that it is today. The same community atmosphere would be out, and it would welcome both locals and visitors alike. And I thank you for your consideration of that option.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Is there other public comment? Come on up.
Good morning, Commission. For the record, I'm John Strahan, proud lifetime member of Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 8071. As the Commission's well aware of, our post has been active in Virginia City for more than 75 years. 6 to 8 years ago, we launched a project within the post to establish a permanent location to provide both meeting spaces as well as veteran services and community services as a motto of the VFW. Recently started reviewing the 2024 RFQ for the Piper's Opera House as a possibility for a nonprofit lease as our organization falls within the nonprofit. We would have the capability to maintain the history, maintain the building, as well as operate the event center and convert the existing office spaces to veterans and veteran services. Now with the latest edition of the expression of the lease and the retirement of the business of the corner bar, we thought what a great opportunity for the post to take over both the corner bar and Piper's Opera House if that becomes a future option, as County Manager Austin was just briefing on several options moving forward on the property. Commonly referred to as a post home or a VFW home, it's a model across the country. There's probably 5,000 of these. You've got a bar, a meeting area, services offices, public facilities, all run by the veterans, whether it's the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, throughout small towns and big cities across this country. Having something like that here in Virginia City, is going to establish us a permanent home and a permanent fixture as veterans and veteran services, serving both our post serves Storey and Lyon counties, over 7,000 veterans. Secondly, as a tourist and business partner within the community and the business district, VFW posts are common for people to come visit just to say, hey, the veterans are here, we wanted to come support veterans and come to this area. I would look at a model of Deadwood City, South Dakota. They have a VFW post hall there, which is within the Black Hills Motorcycle Rally area. The business that brings in, being a similar 1800s themed tourist town, is phenomenal. I've been there several times. One last note, the National VFW Convention is coming July 27th this year to Reno. It's going to bring 10,000 members. That's what the attendance was at the Ohio Convention last year. We're looking forward to say, wow, what a great opportunity to bring veterans from the Reno Convention area up to Virginia City for the purpose of visiting another veterans home and establishing, more contacts and continuity and tourism and base within the community. So just, we're thinking about it, and I wanted to let the commission know this is something we're standing by it for the next RFQ, and you'll be seeing this again. And there's my 3 minutes. All right.
Thank you. I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So if you guys, through whatever process we decide, if the bar was not on the table, would you still be interested in Piper's Opera House?
Yes.
Okay.
And if the bar were not on the table and Piper's Opera House went to somebody else, we would also be interested in the bar.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Either or, we're standing by to make an offer on,
Okay.
or both together.
Okay. Thank you. Did you have any questions?
Just one, John. If, let's say that that's the direction that things went and the VFW established a post home that included the bar, would it be fully open to the public? Help me understand the relationship between members and kind of how that works from a post home perspective and then the public as well.
Yes, thank you for your question. The bar would be open to the public, yes. Okay. And then the relationship to the post home is a revenue generator for the VFW for furthering our mission of services to veterans in the community.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment at this time? All right, Vice Chairman, questions? Deliberation?
Yeah.
Conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of different directions we could go. There's been some, I've received, and I imagine you've probably received as well, multiple comments from members of the community about the value that they feel that this establishment brings. And certainly I'm not interested in closing it down, changing its nature, letting it sit vacant for an extended period of time. I don't think those are things that are of interest to me. But as you know, Chairman, a lot of our decisions have to do with balancing competing needs. And one of them that's kind of fresh in my mind is I'm not in love with the county being a landlord. And we have another one that's kind of coming back around at us fairly soon, another situation where we have a temporary solution, but we need to look for a more permanent solution to a landlord situation with the county. With that in mind, I think as I hear everyone, and I think the option that appeals to me the most at this point is to combine the two. I'm open to looking at acquiring the personal property assets through a proper process, of course. But I think that, to me, and I had not thought of this originally, but as I reflected on it, it feels to me like allowing the corner bar to be part of the management that is provided by whoever takes over running Piper's Opera House, with the flexibility to outsource that to an outside operator, so it may or may not be the nonprofit itself that's actually running it, or to operate it internally. To me, that feels like my preferred option. One of the concerns that I had is, as was mentioned, the bar provides kind of a support service to events at the Opera House. And I was concerned that if we allowed it to close for even a short period of time, that may have a negative effect on events at the Opera House. But I think that if we can get on our stick and get the RFQ out in a fairly timely fashion, we're heading into the slow season for events, and I don't anticipate that there are a whole lot of private events at the Opera House in the wintertime. And I'm hoping that we can get through that process in a timely manner, assuming there is interest, and get someone new in there before we get into the high season of next year. So those are my thoughts as of right now, but I'd love to hear what your thinking is as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, regardless of what happens, I think as far as the current business owners, I think it's the best interest of the county to purchase the equipment that they have through again, the process of appraisal. I can definitely say, putting together 2 Lincoln Days with you, we've relied on the corner bar quite a bit for beverage service. So I see the value. While I don't visit it myself, I know that it's a home to a lot of locals, which is nice, and off C Street. So I definitely would like to see the bar continue operation in some fashion. Being a part of the RFQ process the first time for Piper's, what was raised as a concern was the bar and ownership of the bar, depending on who takes over Piper's. Is it going to complement whatever business takes over Piper's? My concern would be that if the bar is not available for the RFQ process, that may put some folks out of the running. I'm glad to hear that the VFW, regardless of ownership of the bar, is still looking at Piper's, because it's a building that we don't want to see just sit by the wayside and fall apart. So that actually comforts me a little bit, knowing that you folks are interested, and that if the bar does get leased out to somebody else, it's not a deal breaker for you. I think the difficulty is, what do we do with it in the meantime? County Manager, you mentioned next spring for the RFQ process. Is there any way to ramp that up so that we can meet more of the events timeline? I mean, I know there's not a lot of events. There are some events, in March. Is there any way to expedite that so that we can get that process going? And if the bar is shut down, it's not shut down for 7 months, 8 months?
County Manager, for the record, and there's some folks in the audience that are involved in this project that might want to speak up if necessary. What is holding the RFQ up is 2 structural repairs that are needed in the building. They're substantial. they're moving forward, everything's moving along, but we want to make sure whoever bids on the building is going to move right in and be ready to go and not have to deal with these elements. I would suggest that we could go back to the table, our team, and talk about whether we could open up the RFQ sooner and then just guarantee whoever wins the bid that these two structural elements will be addressed, because we know they will. And by the time they get the keys, they just move in. We do believe that this will be completed within the spring period. And if I said something wrong, somebody come correct me, but I don't think that's the case. I think we would be able to do that.
Assuming there's no issues, I would feel comfortable knowing those things are in play. We can work that into the RFQ. You know, I mean, if for example, I'm just gonna pick on you because you guys are here, if throughout the process, the VFW ends up winning that bid, they understand that the building's gotta be repaired before they get in there or start doing anything major. I don't see that as a reason for us to slow the process down. Maybe I'm wrong, but Chris, I think, could probably crack the whip on some of those projects, right? Get them done next week? Yeah. So, because there's two interested parties at this point, and I have had the opportunity to work with Ryan Brandon on many fronts, and I feel very confident that if Ryan was to take over the bar, I think he's a good person for that. There's no question about that, but because there's two people that are currently interested, I think the fairest thing to do would be to, again, expedite the RFQ process, and then, you know, I don't know if at the same time, I don't know how that's going to work timing-wise, but if we're going to, you know, at least get a process together for, if it's just the bar, that we put together a process so that we can vet applicants and see which applicant, you know, would be better suited to run that business. I don't know if we can do that at the same time. Because maybe somebody that wins the RFQ might not have an interest in running the bar. And so I would hate to just keep something that is obviously a benefit to the community shut down for a year and a half. I don't know if I'm complicating things, I'm sure I am, but you know, we can, I'm sure we can work through it so that, you know, maybe if the applicants of the RFQ for pipers don't have an interest in running the bar, we're not gonna take 6 months to get that process put together and, you know, put a bid out for somebody who wants to run that business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so let me see if I can clarify. What you're saying is the parameters of the RFQ for pipers would have the flexibility to include the bar or not?
Yes, because I don't want to assume that whoever takes over pipers is going to want to run that bar or deal with leasing it out to another entity. You know, I mean, I don't like being in the rental business at all, but I don't know, you know, I don't know. My concern is that we may or may not get interested parties for pipers, but at the same time, the bar remains shut down for a year or a year and a half.
Right.
So I don't know how we can make that work. Maybe it can't work, but.
So what you're asking is you're asking staff to look at an RFQ that kind of has both options for pipers and potentially also lining out a procedure for a public bid for the bar separately. So that's all ready to go and in place if the bar is not part of the pipers RFQ.
Correct, because I can, as an example, there was an entity that was interested in pipers and they had no interest in the bar whatsoever, and I can tell you, because I sit on that board, the last thing we want to do is get into renting out the bar and managing that as well. So, you know, we may have somebody that wants to take over pipers and has no interest in being a landlord as well. They've got a nonprofit to run, and they really don't want to get into the business of renting out the bar to somebody. So my whole purpose is to try to shorten the time frame as much as possible. You know, I mean, I don't visit bars, but I do understand the benefit, you know, for the community. And I would just hate to see it shut down for what would likely be a year or year and a half. Does that make sense?
Austin Osborne for the record. So I'm going to try to let you know what I'm hearing.
Okay.
It would be to expedite the RFQ to get that thing moving along. We can put some caveats in there that's subject to the beam getting fixed, stuff like that. I don't see a major roadblock there. we would go out to RFQ sooner than later. I don't remember what the timeline was, but we prepared so much work already that we're duplicating that I imagine that the next round would go a little bit faster than the first one did because the work is essentially done. We would go out to bid. I imagine we're going to give, I'm just guessing from this, so don't mark my words, and there's folks in the audience that were part of the RFQ, like Sarah Sturts, for example, and not to throw you into the bus, Sarah. But I imagine like 90 days, something like that would be in a period of time to go to bid. Probably going to take us a week or so to prepare that and get it up. So you're talking about, 90 days in a week. And then doing interviews and vetting and going through the processes with the respondents. I could see where sometime around, I don't want to put any numbers on the table, let's just call it, mid-spring or March or maybe February to get that thing prepared. I'm going to just guess here for the sake of this conversation. I'll have to talk with our team, folks that actually do these bids for a living. But I know we've done things in the past, like here's a project you bid on, and then there's an alternate. And so it's not like an option. It's like, okay, I like this. I want to do the whole thing, and this is what the cost is going to be. And then you got somebody else that says, I have an alternate. I would rather not be the owner, operator of the bar. I would rather take care of Piper's Opera House and be the landlord of the bar and then put the bar back into private business as a landlord to the 501c3, not to the county. They were kind of out of the landlord business like you're talking about. And then also maybe Piper's Opera House respondent can get some revenue income that they can use for their operation of Piper's and restoration of Piper's. So it's kind of what I'm hearing from you all, and I think we might be able to structure something like that based on the limited knowledge I have in a bidding process for projects. And that those respondents then could respond accordingly with an alternate.
I was just going to mention, I think Commissioner Carmona is asking for a third option, which is an alternate without the bar included at all.
Yeah, I'd like, so let me start over.
Okay.
So part of the RFQ process obviously includes the bar. I would like an option that doesn't include the bar.
Okay.
And if Piper's does not include the bar, I assume the county is going to have to create some sort of process in order to put the bar out to bid and receive bids for someone to run that bar that we will then decide on. So is that process already in place, or do we need to create one? And if we need to create a process like they talked about for the JP position, we've got to get things in order. If that process is not ready, can we have a process ready for what it would look like if we had to go out to bid for somebody at the bar, to run the bar?
So Austin Osborne, for the record, I do believe by the next commission meeting, we could come up with a model, a structure, a methodology for you all to take a look at and say, yeah, that aligns with the last meeting's motion. That would include those elements. And so what I am kind of hearing, at least tentatively at this point, is that that alternate would be, I want to run Piper's Opera House, I'm XYZ nonprofit. I don't want to have anything to do with a bar. I don't want to be a landlord. I just want to deal with theater and things. Then the county then would either, and I'm hearing, go out to bid to find a leasee as opposed to picking someone as a leasee, that we could structure that and have you take a look at the next meeting, and while we're at it, start getting the ball rolling on these other things so we're not wasting time.
Correct, because I mean, obviously, if we're going to receive offers to run that bar, we've got to have a process, interview panel, however we're going to work that out. I assume we're not flipping a coin, to figure out who's going to run that bar.
And the goal is to have that pretty much figured out when we're considering the RFPs for Piper's, so there's no delay there.
I just don't want to delay if there's any,
Understood.
I don't want to go, somebody says, hey, I want to run Piper's, what do we do now with the bar? And it takes us a couple months to get, the processes put together to.
Yep.
For the record, Austin Osborne, we could run all of this concurrently. We don't have to do them consecutively.
Perfect. Sounds good.
I think I understand the motion just fine.
Okay. I'm going to ask one more time, folks that haven't already spoken. Is there anybody else at this point, after hearing this deliberation, want to come up and talk? Please, come on up.
Ryan Branner for the record. We were approached by Billy and Tammy, be middle of September or something like that, about if we would be interested in coming in and taking it over, because we wouldn't change anything, wouldn't change the feel. It's not gonna be a nightclub or a honky-tonk. It's just gonna be a family bar, you know, family-oriented bar. But my thing is, if you go through with shutting it down on the 31st, there's 7 employees that count on that income. You know, Billy and Tammy get to sell their business, the name of the business, all the equipment to the business, to a single one person, all said and done. And then you see like a lot of the community and stuff in there. There's a lot of folks in the community, that's their only social interaction. It's only gets them out of the house every day. They get to go up there, hang out. Some just drink coffee, some have a beer, and we want to keep that. We don't want to change the world. We want one thing in this area to stay the same. Then I visit there quite a bit. I do my guys come in, I get to buy them a beer at the end of the day. A lot of other folks that I work with, swing in, we have beers, and it's just a fun place to be, quiet atmosphere. It's not the rough and tumble stuff sometimes that you get down on C Street. It's not the huge wall-to-wall packed area when there is events. And we do want to be involved in the operations of Piper's, absolutely. So say if VW end up taking over Piper's, 100% would be amazing to be able to work with them. The biggest thing for me is no lapse in time. Because right now, the soonest you're talking about is minimum 3 months of closure. And that's huge. And for the locals and everything, and even being the slow times in the wintertime, they're the bar that's open still 7 days a week. And, people come in to warm up and hang out, and still just the local people that still use it as their only social interaction go there regardless, rain, snow, sleet, or hail. So we are interested in it more on just for keeping it the same. Having just one place here that's not swapping hands, shut down, who knows if whatever ends up happening, who you get in there if it goes downhill quick, or what they decide to do with it. Like, we're literally the only change is putting the popcorn machine back and maybe a TV to watch football and NASCAR on. And that's the only changes we want to make to it. So, if any questions, I'd gladly answer them for you.
Appreciate it, Ryan. You have any questions for Ryan at this time?
I don't have any specific questions, thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the comments very much. No questions from me.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Is there anybody else?
Todd Tuttle, Director of Tourism, for the record. Just a comment to make sure that it stays on top of mind. It is a dynamic situation. We do have people that are running the Opera House. We do have people that are attending the Opera House. And that integral connection with the bar keeps working with it. And so if you're talking a long-term delay, that would affect some of those that have already put on deposits and are expecting for their big day to be held at Piper's Opera House. Along with the community use of the Opera House itself, there's quite a bit of people that are attending to have functions and events that go on that are community related. So I'd just like to make sure that the commission is aware of those things, that it's a continually living building, and we want to make sure that that transition works and operates as smooth as possible.
Light bulb. I have a great idea.
Okay.
Maybe.
Before we do that, Todd, I'm sorry, could I ask, and I don't expect you to know down to the detail, specific numbers, but can you just give us a kind of a rough idea of the activity first quarter into the second quarter of this coming year there?
As we come into the first quarter, yes, we do have a number of weddings that are booked. We also have some dance recitals that are connected to that. We've got a few community events. The Mix and Mingles are held there quite often. We've got some movie nights that are coming in. So the activity is probably keeping it about 25% of potential full usage. As we roll into the springtime, then we're moving closer to the 50% usage and beyond that. We've also got the ABA event coming up that first part of January. We really want to put a great opportunity for them. And again, the bar is kind of an integral part of that, in that relationship that goes back and forth. Tammy has been great to work with in any things that go on. So keeping that option and open as we make this transition would be really important for us.
Understood.
All right, so we're going to take a 10-minute break here, but I just want to throw the idea out so you can let it sit for a second. What if we look at a temporary solution, right? We don't have to expedite the Piper's RFQ. We keep the bar running temporarily, and I know it's a pain in the neck, but if it's run temporarily, it's not shut down, it continues to operate for the events that are coming to Piper's. And then we go through the process. I mean, obviously, it's going to put somebody out on whoever decides to run it temporarily, but it addresses the employment situation, it addresses the event situation. I don't know how we work that out legally, but maybe we keep it open with the understanding that whoever's currently or will run that bar in the interim, that when the RFQ process does come out, there is a potential that the business could get handed over to whoever wins Piper's, or whoever takes over Piper's maybe doesn't want the business. So with that, I'll let that simmer. We're going to take a break, and we'll see you back in 10 minutes. Oh, it was me. Sorry. Let's go. I thought you had to talk to somebody else.
Aren't you glad you said this one now?
No, because I got so much I want to say.
I know, that's the hard part.
I got so much I want to say.
I hear you.
So we're not on the topic at this point. Can I say something at this point? Or, it's about structural issues, right? So if Piper's has a structural issue, how does somebody who has a lease on the property get insurance if it has a structural issue? And typically insurance.
We're fixing it.
Huh?
We're fixing the issue.
Sure, but it's not fixed yet. So we go into a new.
It would be contingent on the That's why we stopped and started over, or about to start over, because it was too much uncertainty for all the nonprofits.
Understood. Okay.
So, that would have to be finished before.
But I feel like the county is signing a new lease with anybody, no matter who it is. If that new person comes in there and needs to get insurance, until those things are fixed structurally, there's risk. That's my only concern.
Makes it hard to expedite.
I would hate for something to happen and the tenant get hurt. We're liable for that because they're structural issues.
I have a feeling that structural issues are not the place has been used.
Yeah, well, you're probably right.
All sorts of.
You're probably right.
All sorts of activities. They used to play basketball. In the old days, before they even built the middle school gym, which was the high school gym, the National Guard used to sit right where the train car is. And that was plan A for playing basketball. But when it was busy with something, they could play basketball. I want to do some roller skating nights in there.
Right?
Pull the disco ball out. Put some plastic bumpers around the edges so they don't run into the old furniture.
You gonna skate or be a DJ?
I'll DJ. Safer for everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna walk around a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be a,
General questions that have been building up? No problem. Sorry, I'm trying to pick up a legal answer on my phone. So, yeah. Yep. And I'm gonna be at my first in-person meeting.
Exciting. Everybody's like, oh, hello. You look different in person. You're much taller.
No one ever tells me that.
Well, now you will be.
Yeah, but I'll definitely be there. But yeah, I'll stop.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, Thursday should be a little bit longer than usual just because of important stuff. And then depending on who does the update for Crowder does it, he likes to talk. So for ComSec mining, give them their update.
Right.
So other staff, they're usually pretty straightforward, but tell stories.
Right.
He's nice. It's this reminds me of a story. Okay, yeah, that was interesting. Okay. But other people are like, let's go home. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, all right, thank you.
She's still helping run the
All right, folks, we're going to get started. Yeah. right, folks, thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Vice Chairman, you ready to go?
I'm good.
Commissioner Gilman, I assume you're good, but you're recused. All right. Meeting is reconvening, and who wants first? Brian, would you like to jump in first?
Yes, Brian Brown, Deputy District Attorney for the record. I just wanted to make a point of legal clarification as you're going through these particular options. We currently have the property leased to a specific individual entity, and if the board is wanting to lease the property to a different individual, they just can't pick that person. There's a process where the board would be required to adopt a new resolution with their intent to lease the property, and then that would have to go out to bid, and bids would have to be accepted and gone over in a public meeting. And so there's not really an avenue for you to say, well, we'll just have somebody else run it in the meantime to solve your issue.
Okay.
There would be ways to modify the current lease that's in place to address those continuing operation issues, but you can't just change and pick a new party without it going to open bid.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, we cannot assign even a temporary owner or a temporary person to run the business if it's not the current leaseholder.
That's correct.
Okay, so the only option in order to keep the bar open is that the current leaseholder continues to operate the bar until said time. That's the only option to keep it open?
Unless we were able to create, we would have to go through the process to
Gotcha,
adopt a
before
resolution before that time period.
Gotcha, okay.
And looking at the dates in there, sorry, I'm bad at impromptu math on the top of my head, but there's a 3-week notice requirement. You got to run it in the paper for a couple weeks and then get the bid, there's a bid process to come in.
Okay, so we would, in truth, we would not be able to get it before the second commission meeting in December?
No, you would not.
All right, so that again brings back the issue. In reality, it looks like the bar will be shut down for some period of time.
Yes, unless there
Whether
is a
it's a
change in
week, because-
circumstances
Right,
with the
okay.
current owners.
With the current owners,
That's
okay.
correct.
So did everybody hear that, just so we're all clear of what's going on? So unless the current owner wants to extend it, it looks like the bar will be shut down for some period of time regardless. Correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. County Manager, did you want to jump in?
Thank you, County Manager Austin Osborne for the record. When I have a recommendation at this point, a lot of good points were made by folks in the public as well as members of this board and Attorney Brown. I would like a little bit of time to talk with my team about all these different things that have been discussed as far as the RFQ, working with our attorney to line up what the next steps might be for the bar, whether we go one way or another. I would like to continue this item until the 18th, the next board meeting. However, you've given me enough motion or material here to work with. It isn't just bouncing it to the next meeting. I think there is something here that we could prepare a potential motion or two for you to consider at the next meeting that incorporates all the things that were discussed today, and to be able to have that conversation then to make an ultimate decision. That would be my request.
All right. I don't mean to put the current owners on the spot, but is there any appetite at this exact moment to continue operating the bar? Am I appropriate in asking that question right now, Brian?
I think it's a legitimate question under how the item is presented on the agenda.
Okay.
I would also advise they don't have to.
You don't have to answer, but I'm just asking. You can, think about it, maybe.
We are going to have.
Okay.
And so that's something that could be brought up at the 18th as well.
On the 18th?
I could certainly speak with the current owners and see what their interests are between now and then as well.
I would like you to do that if possible.
Happy to.
Thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, sorry. Vice Chairman?
That all sounds good to me.
Okay.
I mean, my concern is always if we delay, I don't want doors to close on us, but it sounds like as of right now, rushing something through right now doesn't gain us anything.
Yep.
And I think we maybe get some more clarity around a path forward by working diligently to get it back on the next meeting.
Okay.
I'd like to add, Mr. Chairman, I agree with Commissioner Mitchell, Austin Osborne for the record. I don't think it really is a delay in this case. If you were to make motion today and approve it, I think our team is still going to do the same thing in the next 2.5 weeks as we are without that motion, just with a continuation. A lot of structure has been provided today.
And I do want to give the audience an opportunity one last time for those who have not already spoken with, again, all this conversation. Is there anybody else with public comment at this time? All right. Thank you, everybody, for that. Vice Chairman, are you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to continue this item to our November 18th meeting here at the courthouse.
All right, I'll second that motion. All those in...
Before we vote, Austin, would you like me to reference the conversation on the record and instruct staff to prepare further guidance?
I'm going to speak non-legally unless Brian wants to kick in, but I think if you make a motion, then there would be to direct staff, would actually be not continuing it, it would be directing staff to proceed according to this conversation. Nevertheless, I hear everything that was said today. If you do continue it, all of those things are going to happen.
I agree with Austin from a legal perspective as well. If you want to continue it, it's continued. If you want to give direction, it's a different motion.
Got it.
Thank you. So you put a motion on the table?
Yeah, I mean, if it's all right, I'll retract that motion, and yeah, I'll retract that motion and make a new one, and that is to instruct staff to continue to prepare and bring back this item to our November 18th meeting for further consideration based on the conversations that we've had on the record today.
All right, there's a motion made. I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Appreciate the participation. Moving right along to item number 12, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval to accept a $30,000 donation from Donald Gilman. This donation will be used by the Sheriff's Office to purchase 2 dual-purpose motorcycles, motorcycle units specific for dealing with traffic enforcement in the USA Parkway area, and to lower response times between Lockwood and USA Parkway. Sheriff?
Chair Carmona,
Yes.
out of abundance of caution, I need to recuse from this item.
Sounds good. Thank you. Sheriff?
Good morning, Commissioners. Sheriff Cullen for the record. Yes, basically, it's just that we're requesting approval to accept a $30,000 donation from Commissioner Gilman to specifically purchase 2 dual sport style motorcycles for the Sheriff's Office for use specific to the parkway issues, traffic problems we're having up at the north end of the county.
All right.
That's basically it.
Thank you, Sheriff. Do you have something, Austin, or no?
I don't.
Okay. Vice Chairman, questions, comments?
No questions. In fact, I'd like to make a motion to accept a $100,000 donation from Donald. If that's all right.
Thanks, pal.
I mean, who needs enemies when he got friends like this, right?
Brian said no. Can't do that.
Okay. It's not in the scope of what we
Not in the
agendized.
scope of
Dang
the
it.
agendized item. Is there any public comment in the courtroom today? I just want to say thank you to Donnie. It's obviously, we've got some traffic issues out there, and anything we could do to sort of make it safer out there, I'm definitely a fan of. So with that said, Vice Chairman, are you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to authorize the donation from Donald Gilman in the amount of $30,000 to be used by the Sheriff's Office to purchase 2 dual-purpose motorcycle units specifically for dealing with traffic enforcement in the USA Parkway area and to lower response times between Lockwood and USA Parkway area.
There's a motion. I'll second that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Sheriff. Moving right along to item number 13, discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval for the Sheriff's Office to purchase out-of-budget 2 motorcycles with upfitting for a cost of approximately $30,285, radios, helmets, and gear not to exceed $10,000 for a total out-of-budget request of $40,285. The intended use for these motorcycles is traffic control in the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. This purchase is partially funded by a donation from Donald Gilman in the amount of $30,000.
Chair Carmona,
Yes.
I believe I can vote on this, but I just wanted to make everybody aware that this is from the previous item, and so I don't believe there's any reason why I shouldn't be able to vote on this.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you for that clarification. Sheriff?
Okay, so thank you. Sheriff Cullen for the record. So along with the cost of the, or the donation, we want to add a little bit of money to the program to outfit the bikes, outfit the deputies with gear, proper riding gear, proper equipment. Something you should know is that the motorcycles we're looking at purchasing aren't standardized police motorcycles, so they're going to take a little bit of effort to outfit. However, I do think that they are going to be more suited for the job at the north end of the county by being able to ride on the pavement at highway speeds and off-road when necessary. I'm pretty excited about this program, as we were able to get these specific bikes at a pretty good discounted rate from one of the dealerships who also wanted to be part of the program and help out. So, yes, again, we're looking for some extra money to outfit the deputies, get them some good gear, and get the bikes squared away.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Vice Chairman, you have any questions or comments? All right. Is there any, yes? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or
I've
comments?
been on the sidelines for a minute, I got it.
It's been a rough day
I don't
for
have
me.
any questions or comments, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the Sheriff's Office to purchase out-of-budget 2 motorcycles with upfitting for a cost of approximately $30,285 and radios, helmets, and gear not to exceed $10,000 for a total out-of-budget request of $40,285. The intended use of these motorcycles is traffic control in the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. This purchase is partially funded by a donation from Donald Gilman in the amount of $30,000.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, item number 14, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval for a Storey County proclamation for Flood Awareness Week, which I must say we are early for, November 9th through the 15th. Kathy?
I know, on top of it this year.
On top of it.
Again, thank Kathy Canfield for the record. This is, Storey County is joining the state of Nevada and the other communities within the state of Nevada to recognize Flood Awareness Week. This is something that we've done in the last few years, and not only just the importance of recognizing flooding that could happen in communities, this also helps Storey County directly with some of our FEMA and National Flood Insurance Program items that come up.
Thank you. Kathy? Sorry. Thank you. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thanks.
Is there any public comment? Lisa? No? Sorry. Would you care to read the resolution?
Sure. So this is the Storey County, Nevada proclamation. Whereas Storey County recognizes the significant threat that flooding poses to our residents, our businesses, the community, the region, and our local economy. And whereas Storey County has experienced flood events from the Truckee River, weather events, and flooding of local streams, channels, and creeks. And whereas risks can be reduced and communities can be prepared to be more aware and resilient by educating residents and businesses on actions that they can take to prepare for flood events. And whereas during Flood Awareness Week, local, state, and federal agencies are working together across Nevada to inform the public about the dangers of flooding and how to protect their homes and families and businesses from a flood event and plan for recovery. Now, therefore, the Storey County Board of County Commissioners does hereby proclaim November 9th through November 15th as Nevada Flood Awareness Week, and urges all citizens to increase their awareness of the risks and floods by visiting www.nevadafloods.org and learn how you can be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve Storey County, Nevada proclamation for recognizing Flood Awareness Week as November 9th through 15th, 2025.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah. Thank you.
Take a 12-second recess.
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy. Moving on to item number 15 is discussion for possible action. Discussion and consideration of resolution number 25-805, expressing support for maintaining free and open public vehicular access to the Interstate 80 Patrick Interchange at McCarran, Nevada, and for future upgrades to the interchange to enhance its compatibility with current conditions and future growth in the region. County Manager Osborne.
All right, thank you, Austin Osborne, County Manager. For the record, in front of you is a paper version of the resolution with some edits. A copy is provided in the back of the room for the public, as well as was posted last night. I'll explain the changes in a moment. What you have in front of you is a resolution. It is addressing one issue, and that is the potential closure or restriction of the Patrick Interchange on Interstate 80 by Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. I believe that the draft that's in front of you accurately reflects conditions in the area, circumstances that are occurring with regarding traffic, congestion, and potential resolutions, and coordination that has been occurring between Storey County, our office, and others at Tri-Center, the state, and otherwise. Discussions have been ongoing regarding traffic congestion. I believe that the resolution addresses actions like adding the traffic signals on USA Parkway, our stellar relationship with the Nevada Department of Transportation and other state agencies who have also been working with us collaboratively to try to resolve problems with traffic in the area, and also contemplation by one or more agencies regarding the near future or short-term use of Patrick Interchange. I think it's important to note that I believe that the resolution also reflects the empathy that we have for our companies out at Tri-Center, as well as the commuters who are going back and forth on that highway every day to work, who are a critical part to our success and the region's success and those companies' success. I believe that the draft properly responds to correspondence that has occurred, again, between these folks and also conversations that have occurred between tri-companies to us and their concerns for the use of the Patrick Interchange, as well as other road issues that are occurring in the area, the commuters that have also been communicating with us, the state of Nevada, and members of this board on one or more occasions that have expressed concerns in wanting to get something done. I think each of the parties that are involved here, whether it's the state, the county, our companies, or others, each of us has a core desire to resolve an issue, and I think it's important that we do something. And I think that this board has done something in directing the installation of traffic signals, coordination with NDOT on various other methods of managing traffic, working with area companies and construction workers to navigate their schedules around rush hour periods, emphasizing the extended stay hotels and other accommodations we have out of Tri, as well as our conversations with NDOT, Washoe RTC, and others on long-term solutions and hopefully short-term solutions like the East Connector, I-80 widening project, the rail study, and other things that we're trying to do to make things better at that end of the county. The second draft that you have in front of you was drafted in response to further correspondence that has happened between us and other stakeholders since the posting of this agenda. And that's why the blue language that you see in front of you is there. I'm happy to go through this. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and welcome your thoughts on where we're going here. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not at this time, thank you.
Okay, Vice Chairman?
No, I just want to express my appreciation for, actually, I think the edits are right on topic and improve the resolution. So thanks for introducing those.
Is there any public comment? All right, not seeing any. Are you reading the resolution in its entirety?
I'm going to leave that up to you, what you would like to happen. I do believe that the attorney's office would probably want me to read the resolution title, but if you want me to read more, I'd be happy to.
It's 2 pages, single-spaced. I think we're good. It is included in the agenda packet if anybody's interested, but yeah, if you'd mind reading the title, that'd be great.
Okay, I'd be happy to. Can you remind me what the resolution number is?
805.
Thank you. 2025-05.
2025-805.
805, okay, 2025-805, thank you. A resolution expressing support for maintaining free and open public vehicular access to the Interstate 80 Patrick Interchange at McCarran, Nevada, and for future upgrades to the interchange to enhance its compatibility with current conditions and future growth in the region.
Thank you for that, Austin.
You're welcome.
Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve resolution number 25-805, expressing support for maintaining free and open public vehicular access to the Interstate 80 Patrick Interchange at McCarran, Nevada, and for future upgrades to the interchange to enhance its compatibility with current conditions and future growth in the region.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Austin.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, moving right along to item number 16. This is discussion only. And I will note that I did not call Community Chest Director Eric Schoen up for a update, so he's going to give us his update during the presentation. Is that suitable, Brian?
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brandy Lopez for the record. The county has been utilizing NeoGov software to support our recruiting and onboarding processes. Earlier this month, members of the Human Resource Department attended NeoGov's annual conference, which provided valuable training opportunities to enhance our use of the platform. In celebration of their 25th anniversary, NeoGov launched the Ignite NeoGov Gives Back initiative, inviting all conference registrants to nominate a local nonprofit organization making a meaningful impact in their community. Through my submission, Community Chest was selected as the third place winner in the 2025 Ignite NeoGov Gives Back Award in the amount of $2,000. Community Chest has been strengthening our community for more than 30 years through prevention-minded services and multi-county partnerships. Their ongoing commitment embodies the values of achieve balance, integrity first, and stronger together. Today, we are proud to recognize Community Chest Incorporation for their outstanding work and positive difference they continue to make in the lives of Storey County residents.
All right.
Do you guys want to do a photo?
Yeah, should we all get in there?
All right, in the middle.
Come on, Brian.
I didn't comb my hair.
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3, perfect. That looks great. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you, Brandy, for those really nice, thoughtful comments. Eric Schoen, for the record, CEO, Community Chest. I appreciate all the love from the county, and I want to give some back. I wrote an email to everybody, several people, last week after the open house in Lockwood, celebrating the opening of the new community center. And I don't want to call anybody out now because I'm afraid I would leave somebody off that list. But you have to know collectively, as a team, Storey County, you rocked it. That is one of those moments that doesn't happen very often. It takes forever to plan something, pull it together, generate enough commitment, have all the tough conversations, find the funds, manage the funds, and see it through to completion in as beautiful a shape as it is. And to have that now become, I think, a treasure of the community, you guys should all feel, I hope, a large amount of pride in that. That's an amazing accomplishment, and you guys deserve all the kudos in the world for that. So nicely done, Team Storey County. It's amazing. A few updates for you all. It's that time of year when we have holidays coming up and people are needing holiday food baskets. So if you know somebody who needs a holiday food basket, we distribute those for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. People can nominate themselves, and we adjust those baskets based on the family size. So there's no shame at all. We know that times can be tough for a variety of reasons. If somebody needs help, please help connect them to us. The contact person for that is Jessica, and it's easy to get a hold of her. Jessica at communitychestnevada.net is the email for that. And Julia, if you need more contact info, I can give that to you. Secondarily, our angel tree program will be starting up shortly. You'll see angel trees out there. If you want to adopt an angel and help buy a present for somebody, we'd love that. If you know of somebody who's going to need a warm weather clothing item, you can put that on an angel and for adoption. Again, Jessica is managing that too. So on both sides of that, if you would like to help support that, please reach out to her. And the last piece, I think, really just to sort of refer back to the community center in Lockwood. People are asking, when is the early childhood education center going to open over there? Which, by the way, is really thrilling to be able to do that right next to where the seniors are going to be. We're hoping we have some of that intergenerational magic. Now that the facility is open, we can proceed with completion of licensing. We have to complete licensing, because it was state licensing, before we can open that facility. So that's not a quick process. We are hoping somewhere between January, February-ish. Like Austin, I'm a little bit gun shy about putting something firm out there, but January, February, hopefully having the licensing process completed, all of our furniture and equipment installed, and personnel hired so that we can open that center about that time frame. So that's the end of my updates, unless you have questions.
Thank you very much, Eric. And I do just want to echo your sentiments. I mean, a lot of times there's so much going on in Storey County that a lot of times kudos are not given out to those of our team members that deserve it. As a commissioner, I can tell you I would not want to be a commissioner with a different group of folks working in Storey County right now. Each and every one of you guys is integral in the success of Storey County, and it's appreciated. So just to feed off that, thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
Not following that speech. You're absolutely right. Everyone did a phenomenal job. The one thing I do want to point out that and I believe I heard this correctly, but at the ribbon cutting, the construction of that building during that whole entire construction process, there was not a single injury on that job site. That is pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. Vice Chairman?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you. You guys have done great.
Any public comment? Not seeing any. That concludes that item. Again, thank you very much. On to item number 17 is to recess to convene as the Storey County Highway Board, bringing us to item number 18, which is discussion only. Report of Public Works Department regarding roads and highways throughout Storey County.
Morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Jason Worsbecky for the record. Just a couple quick updates. Engineering and site work is underway for the Mark Twain 2026 road rehab project, including drainage improvements along Prospector, Martin, and Sutro Springs. CME has been down there core drilling Sam Clemens and Sutro Springs to identify what intensity of engineering we will need to achieve a 20-year road. Basically, it's going to be brand new from scratch because there's nothing there. Item 2, we've been installing new and additional signage in various areas throughout the tri-area in an effort to bring awareness to the motoring public and to help control speed. Number 3, we are actively engaged in working with NDOT on traffic issues in the region, to piggyback off of what Austin had been talking to you guys about already. Another item is we're gearing up for snow season. We hope to receive a new John Deere 624 wheel loader that has been on order by the end of November. Once that is received, we will be able to run both blowers at the same time in different areas, making our snow removal process even more streamlined. And then I just wanted to remind everyone, with the snow coming, that berms happen. We try to minimize them as much as possible, but they just happen. As far as snow plowing goes, we plow the main thoroughfares first. UG's 6 Mile, Cartwright, and Loustown. Then we fall back, plow the hills. And last but not least, we plow the flat streets. After the storm, we muck out town and team up with NDOT to clear C Street. And then just a reminder for people that we have 82 miles of paved road throughout the county that we're responsible for. So with limited crew and limited equipment, we're, sometimes if it's a region-wide storm, we get stretched pretty thin, so we're doing what we can do and, you know, trying to do it to the best of our ability. That's all I have.
Thank you for that update, Jason. I think if I heard you correctly, you are taking applications at Public Works?
Yes.
All right, on the record. Highway Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments?
Done, thank you.
Highway Commissioner Mitchell.
I'm good, thanks.
All right. Thank you again, Jason. Appreciate it. Good luck to your team out there, huh? It was 70 degrees on Friday, just pointing that out. Yep, very nice. Item number 19, recess to convene as the Storey County Fire Protection District Board, bringing us to item number 20, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval, budget increases for the purchase of specialized fleet management software for Fleet Manager Mechanic in the amount of $14,342, and cost increases in previously approved capital fleet additions of a Type 2 engine and a Type 1 water tender in the amount of $19,889. Chief Reiser.
Bob Reiser, Fire Chief for the record. One of the things that we've been able to prepare for to some extent is to pre-plan our capital. One of the things that we weren't able to plan for very well was the increase in costs of fire apparatus, which over the last few years have increased somewhere between 25 and 50% since the COVID pandemic. We got really close with our estimation for this one. I guess that the 2.5% tariff increase affected these apparatus. It's crazy to me to think that a water tender that a few years ago was less than $300,000 is now $500,000. That said, the $19,889 is after we were able to combine purchases between the water tender and the Type 2 engine, as well as a prepayment discount and some co-opting of some funds, which saved us an additional $75,593. In speaking with Comptroller McCain, she feels that our budget is healthy enough with incoming revenue to be able to cover those costs. As well, we're blessed this year to add a fleet manager mechanic position, but we're starting somewhat from scratch, and we didn't budget for him to have fleet software to actually manage the system. What that software will do is allow us to track our resources much better as far as total cost to operate and depreciation cycles and all of those things. And that was an unbudgeted number, $14,342. So we're asking for out-of-budget increases to cover those two items.
All right, thank you, Chief. Fire Commissioner Gilman, questions, comments?
Done, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I was gonna make a joke about Fire Commissioner Gilman donating the difference. I mean, fair's fair, you know, sheriff and fire.
The bell's gonna ring.
All right, just kidding, I'm good.
No questions? Public comment? Not seeing any. Fire Commissioner Mitchell, you prepared to make a motion?
Yes, I, Fire Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the budget increase for the purchase of RTA fleet software in the amount of $14,342, as well as the capital purchase increase of $19,889 for the purchase of a Type 2 engine and a Type 1 water tender.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Chief. We gotta give it a sec, because that buzzer is gonna go off.
Oh, yes.
I can't take it. Discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of resolution 25-804 expressing free and open public vehicular access to the Interstate 80 Patrick Interchange at McCarran, Nevada, allowing for unrestricted emergency vehicle.
Had to be done.
vehicle access to maintain public safety along the Interstate 80 corridor adjacent to Storey County. Chief Reiser.
Kind of piggybacking on to what County Manager Osborne was bringing up earlier, with the repeated issues of traffic on Interstate 80 between Vista and USA Parkway, one of our significant concerns is that a closure of the Patrick interchange or even a restriction will dramatically jeopardize, in our opinion, public safety. It represents right now the only emergency vehicle turnaround between USA Parkway and Mustang, which is mile marker 23 all the way out to mile marker 32. You can't just cross the median with a 85,000-pound ladder truck or fire engine, things like that. So our concern is that if it is reduced, it will actually increase risk to public safety by delaying our response to be able to access accidents that occur somewhat regularly on the interstate, whether they're traffic backups or otherwise. And it's also reflected in the fact that we are signatory to an automatic aid agreement with Truckee Meadows Fire to respond to all accidents on the interstate between Vista and mile marker 38. So a reduction between 23 and 32 will create some problems for us as well. And in turn, it may jeopardize that aid agreement that we have in place. Almost tertiary to that is Truckee Meadows Fire is currently in the process of building their station at that interchange, and it will impact them as well. So subsequently, drafted a resolution unique to the fire district in relation to that.
Great. Thank you, Chief. Fire Commissioner Gilman, any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Fire Commissioner Mitchell.
I don't have questions, thank you.
All right, how about public comment? Not seeing any. Chief Reiser, did you want to go ahead and read that beginning part of the resolution as well?
Absolutely. Resolution 25-804, a resolution expressing free and open public vehicular access to the Interstate 80 Patrick Interchange at McCarran, Nevada, allowing for unrestricted emergency vehicle access to maintain public safety along the Interstate 80 corridor adjacent to Storey County.
All right. Thank you. Fire Commissioner Mitchell, you prepared to make a motion? Can we just take a break for a quick second?
Yeah, can we hold for just a second?
We're stuck here. Let's go. Is that proper, do you have the proper resolution with you?
So
The amended one?
I don't have ours as an amended resolution.
Okay.
By design should be reflecting the blue components of the resolution from the county,
Okay.
which were the recommendations made. So I can push this back to the next meeting if deemed appropriate to add those to our resolution.
All right. Yes. I think that would be better. So we're gonna.
Thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne, County Manager. I just wanted to say the fire chief has done a fine job in this. There were some things that occurred very late in the process following the posting that had to be integrated into the county version of this. And so I'd support whatever action you want to take here, but Chief Reiser has done a fine job working with me in this process. I just want that to be part of the record. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So what it sounds like to me is that we need to postpone this item until the resolution is clear. All right, you clear on that?
Yeah,
Okay, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. Or maybe Austin's just mad that Chief Reiser got his in first and got a lower number on the resolution, 804 instead of 805, so.
Is that what that is?
No, I'm just kidding. So I'll move to continue this item to our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is November 18th here at the courthouse.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Sorry about the confusion.
No, that's right.
On to item number 22 is to recess to reconvene as the Storey County Board of County Commissioners. Bringing us to item number 23, which is discussion for possible action, discussion and possible consideration of the board's position responding to the Nevada Governor's Office of Economic Development, requesting from Storey County a letter of acknowledgement regarding an application by PRTX1 LLC to GoEd for data center sales tax abatement and data center personal property tax abatement for operations planned in Storey County. County Manager Osborne.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne for the record. What you have in front of you is a standard data center abatement letter from the Governor's Office of Economic Development, indicating that there is a data center coming our way that is subject to the standard off-the-shelf abatements of GoEd that are set by NRS. And the letter is self-indicative of what the elements are. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about amounts, durations, and other elements of this. The item here is planned for the GoEd board meeting to occur on November 10 at 2:30. Happy to answer any further questions.
Thank you, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I don't either, thank you.
Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to direct county staff to submit a letter to GoEd acknowledging an application by PRTX1 LLC to GoEd for a data center sales tax abatement and a data center personal property tax abatement for operations planned in Storey County.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Austin. On to item number 24 is discussion for possible action. Discussion and possible consideration of the board's position responding to the Nevada Governor's Office of Economic Development requesting from Storey County a letter of acknowledgement regarding the application to GoEd by Trident Enterprises International, Inc. for a sales tax abatement, modified business tax abatement, and personal property tax abatement for operations planned in Storey County. Austin?
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Austin Osborne for the record. What you have in front of you is a letter from the Governor's Office of Economic Development regarding a non-industrial standard abatement program letter request, and this letter just seeks a letter of acknowledgement that this is occurring. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the amounts or the capital investment, full-time equivalent employees, or other elements of this company. And there, once again, the GoEd meeting for this item is scheduled to occur on November 10 at 2:30.
Thank you, Austin. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I'm good, thanks.
How about public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
I am. I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to direct county staff to submit a letter to GoEd acknowledging an application to GoEd by Trident Enterprises International, Inc. for a sales tax abatement, modified business tax abatement, and personal property tax abatement for operations planned in Storey County.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Austin. On to item number 25, discussion for possible action, consideration and possible approval of the proposal from Loomis and Associates to evaluate and develop a proactive plan for future capital improvements related to Storey County Park facilities at a cost not to exceed $94,000. Lisa?
Good morning, Lisa Massell for the record. This is for an agreement with Loomis to do our park study. This will look at existing park equipment and facilities and then future park facilities and equipment. There's been some different requests from residents for
park courses, dog parks. This will look at everything that we currently have within the county. Some of the park course equipment out at the Lockwood Center is currently deteriorating and needs to be looked at. So this will take a look at all of it, get input from residents within the county to find out what is needed and where, and also look at the area down at Gold Hill around the depot for a conceptual plan to meet the requirements for the Miners Park conversion.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman? How about public comment? All right, Vice Chairman, not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the proposal from Loomis and Associates to evaluate and develop a proactive plan for future capital improvements related to Storey County Park facilities at a cost not to exceed $94,000.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 26, the discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of Storey County's Nevada Department of Transportation specific Title 6 policy. I gotta brush up on my Roman numerals. 6, thank you. You guys are tripping me up. As required to ensure compliance with federal non-discrimination laws under Title 6 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to maintain eligibility for NDOT administered federal transportation funding and to authorize the county manager to sign a policy on behalf of Storey County. Lisa.
Again, Lisa myself for the record. You should have an updated version of the Title VI policy draft that was done after we submitted the agenda. So we went through and revised everything that basically related to Executive Order 12898, which was environmental justice, and Executive Order 13166, which was for limited English proficiency. We met with Joy Weston, with Lexicon, Laura Mather, Sarah Sturtz, and myself. And we did get updated information on how to clarify the agreement. She went through and she did review it for us. And she had no recommended changes in there after we made ours. We went through and revised DEI language or removed it completely, depending on what it was. Specifically was environmental justice. We went through and replaced references to minority and low-income populations with communities that may be more significantly impacted. We adjusted glossary definitions to focus on fair access rather than identity-based framing. We removed environmental justice in the glossary on page 43 and the acronyms on 45. We updated limited English proficiency to remove DEI framing around language access and focused on compliance with federal guidance and practical support, translation tools, bilingual staff. Updated complaint procedures and narrowed down the basis of complaints to Title VI protected classes, which include race, color, and national origin. Also removed broader DEI terms like income status, gender identity, or equity unless federally required. Replaced phrases like active participation from effective groups with public input from individuals, organizations, and agencies, and changed awareness training to compliance training to reflect a regulatory focus. And so hopefully you've had a moment to look over that and see if it meets the questions that you had from the October 21st hearing.
Thank you, Lisa. Commissioner Gilman, do you have any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I don't have any questions. I just want to thank staff for getting on that and working with Lexicon on this. I feel like it's a better policy that acknowledges the realities that we're facing right now. And while we're still totally committed to fairness and proper non-discrimination policy, I think that it's going to be more effective in getting us the things that we need through our partnership. So thank you.
All right. Is there any public comment? Not seeing any. Vice Chairman, you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to approve the Storey County, Nevada Department of Transportation specific Title VI policy as required to ensure compliance with federal non-discrimination laws under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to maintain eligibility for NDOT administered federal transportation funding and to authorize the county manager to sign the policy on behalf of Storey County.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. On to item number 27, this discussion for possible action. Consideration and possible approval of business license second readings. Commissioner Gilman, questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
Chairman, I have just one that I'd like to maybe pull for discussion. I don't know if you prefer to discuss it as part of the item as a whole, or approve all the others and then discuss it separately. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
How about I defer to County Manager Osborne?
Great idea.
I might defer to legal, but Austin Osborne, this item was continued at the last commission meeting to this meeting. I believe the last time that we discussed these, that this item was just pulled off and discussed separately from the others.
I believe the issue is Commissioner Mitchell would like to have a more in-depth discussion about item T. It's within the chair's discretion if you want to go ahead and make a motion regarding all items except item T and, approve or disapprove, do whatever you're going to do, and then address item T separately. Then you would have a clean motion on that particular item standing alone. So it's within the chair's discretion of how you want to handle that.
Okay. And part of my discretion is what Vice Chairman feels comfortable with?
Correct.
So what do you feel comfortable with?
I think it sounds clean to me to approve everything else, and then we can discuss item T and figure out what we're going to do there.
Sounds good.
So,
Okay.
so if you-
I haven't asked for public comment.
right.
So is there any public comment regarding these second readings?
On anything but T.
Yeah.
On anything but T?
We'll deal with that one separately in just a moment. So.
Okay. So not seeing any public comment, Vice Chairman, are you prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I move to approve the second reading of business licenses listed under item 27, A through U, with the exception of item T, to be further discussed under this item.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Now, on to item T. Who's going to take it from here? You, County Manager Osborne?
I'm happy to introduce just some of my thoughts around
Sure.
it. So I think I expressed a few concerns and looking for more information here. My concerns revolved around past history with this company within the county, and if there were things that they had done that potentially would make it difficult for me to support approving their license. And so I have had fairly in-depth discussions, great staff reports from community development, and some input from legal as well. And I've got some answers, and I still have some that are remaining. But the long and the short of it is I don't know if there's anything within our code that allows us, within the circumstances that we're looking at, to deny a business license. And so that's kind of the conclusion that I've come to, but I'm happy to have either County Manager Osborne or our legal counsel, Brian, give us a little more clarity on any of those points.
All right. Not all at once. Who wants this?
Austin Osborne for the record. I have a couple findings that have been prepared after the last board meeting. We deliberated on this item and asked us to take a look and review some things further, look at the report and look at the record of what exists. And so I'm happy to go through a brief update of those findings that are prepared, and also defer to our legal counsel on any guidance through Title V of the business license matter, but make some references here.
Okay.
If you want, I'll go ahead and start.
Please.
These are very brief and very preliminary, but basically it's found that one question came up is, should this use require a special use permit under 1730-020? And it does not. It's an allowed use as a walking tour, so therefore it is allowed to just be, to proceed as it has as a business license without special use permit. It is found that the subject company operated without a business license roughly until April 2025. They stopped when they were noticed that this was occurring. So roughly between April and August of 2025, they had sought and secured a Nevada state business license. And then between April and September of 2025, they had applied for a Storey County business license. And then roughly in September, they had secured a temporary business license from Community Development to operate until final action is taken by the board. It should be noted, I've talked with our Community Development Director, our Acting Director, that it's pretty common that a business, roughly about 40 a year businesses will operate, will come to Storey County, begin work, not having a business license. Sometimes they don't know, sometimes they might know, but they're jumped on immediately, and 99% of the time they're like, didn't realize it, sorry. They get in their truck, they run to Community Development, they get their license, and then they continue work, life is good. Sometimes one will slip through, and it's like, well, the work's already done, they leave town, they never come back again, but I do know from working with our team that they keep an eye on those folks, make sure that truck doesn't show up with the big, orange dot on the side, and if it does, then they'll go talk to them again. But it does happen. And they try to work with people and make things as good as they can be. It was also found that the subject company utilized private property, meaning at 204 South C Street, the jerky company is kind of a staging place, and that their website reflected this, even showed a picture of a portion of the building with the name Jerky Company on it, and that there was some reference to that they were also operating out of 205 South C Street, which is the sheriff's office. The actual address from which this company is operating is out of New Orleans. It is an out-of-county business license, and I'd be happy to have our Community Development Director explain how that works and all those mechanics. They stopped providing services when they were noticed that they were not operating with a business license and these things were occurring, and no further action occurred with them. However, as of 10 o'clock last night, p.m., their website does show still the Jerky Factory with the picture and the site as the staging place to do business. And but you cannot join a tour. It's deactivated. They're not showing any spots for tours. But that is as of 10 o'clock last night. Various community reports had come in regarding other things that we believe are out of the jurisdiction of the county at this time, so I didn't include them really in this discussion. To be contemplated, we believe, is section 504010 of the business license ordinance requiring a business license. You have to get one of those. Past action, I talked about that a little bit, as this does happen, of business license, and then people usually comply quickly and get themselves up and running. 504100, and I'll defer to legal at any moment as necessary, does provide for refusal of a business license application, and that the board could condition, at least mentions in there, that you could require that the applicant comply with the ordinances and also state that they will comply. Perhaps a condition would be that this item could be continued to the next meeting to provide the applicant an opportunity to come to this meeting and discuss the matter with this board and have a condition of compliance. And our team could further review and maybe monitor compliance throughout the next year a little bit more closely than we do some others, or maybe the same as. And section 504110 has a show cause process for revoking a business license. Once a business would have a license, then they would be subject to that provision. That's all I have at this point.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Gilman, do you have any comments at this time?
No, thank you.
Vice Chairman?
I will have just a few more comments, but I'm happy to open up for public comment.
Okay, is there any public comment? Come on up, please state your name for the record. Please hold on 1 second. Red button, Austin, to clear it. And then black button or this one?
I'll go ahead and do it. I'll just sit here.
Okay. Sorry, we gotta be official.
It's okay.
Go ahead and get started. Please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Debbie Bender. I'm the owner of Bats in the Belfry Ghost Tours, and for over 16 years, I've poured my heart into researching Virginia City's history, not just to tell ghost stories, but to honor the people and the spirits who built this town. I'm speaking today because I care deeply about this place, and I don't believe U.S. Ghost Ventures should be granted a business license or be allowed to operate here. They're not part of this community. They're a chain that moves from city to city, and in my opinion, using the same script, the same marketing, without any real understanding or respect for the places that they enter. In city after city, they've been accused of misleading marketing, exploiting historic locations without permission, and spreading inaccuracies for profit. This model is built on replication, not authenticity, and Virginia City, of all places, deserves better than that. Our ghost stories are part of our heritage. They belong to the people who are here, who walk the streets, who honor the spirits and the history that shaped this town. Allowing a company like this to operate here undermines the hard work of those who have spent years, decades, building trust with visitors and preserving the soul of this place. If this were a Starbucks or a McDonald's trying to open on C Street, I think we'd all agree that doesn't belong here. It would be an easy no. And the truth is, there's no difference here. U.S. Ghost Adventures is the same kind of corporate chain, just dressed up in ghost stories instead of coffee cups and hamburgers. They're mass-produced, not made with the heart and history that defines Virginia City. And this isn't about competition, it's about integrity. It's about making sure that what draws people here, the authenticity, the spirit, and the heart of this town, doesn't get diluted by a company that sees it as only a product. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments on this item? All right, Vice Chairman.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm certainly sympathetic to some of the points that Debbie made. I mean, the history is very important to me, as you know, and I don't think it needs to be embellished. And in my looking at the marketing that was done by this company, it was almost unrecognizable the way they were describing the history of our town. Unfortunately, with the First Amendment, I don't think it's up to us to censor what people say. And a lot of the other things that they have been accused of doing and may well have done, they fall under categories that, again, don't really fall, as County Manager said, under our jurisdiction. Civil disputes, unfair business or predatory business practices, the sensationalism, all of those things are things, co-opting branding from another company. All of those things are things that are settled in civil court. And that responsibility falls to those who feel they've been wrong to defend those things. So certainly our code is pretty condensed on what we can do to refuse a license. It's a bit more broad on suspension, cancellation, or revocation. For me, the one thing that I think still kind of is something that I think maybe needs to be resolved is that given that their website still shows a property that, my understanding is they did not have permission to use, and the only other address that is associated with this is the sheriff's office. Now, there's no prohibition against people meeting on a public sidewalk in front of a business, but they can't use someone's property without permission, and I'm not quite sure how the sheriff's office figures into this if they're using that address as a point of reference for people. And those are questions that I still have. And in my discussion with our legal counsel, we could put conditions on this for other things, but most of those conditions would basically be, you need to follow the law. And that's kind of silly. We shouldn't have to put those conditions. They already have a responsibility to follow the law. And so if we need to make other conditions for this type of business, that's a whole separate conversation that we should look at an ordinance that needs to be updated to include those kind of things. So for me, and certainly I'd welcome input from our legal counsel, but for me, I'm still not understanding, at this point, I don't have assurances that they're going to operate under a different model than using existing people's properties. And I'm wondering if maybe we need to request that information from them and say, can you please tell us, because this happened in the past, can you please help us understand how you're going to comply with the things that you need to do? We see that you're applying for a business license. That's certainly something that you need to do. But as far as location goes, while there was no violation of the law, no trespass issued, those kind of things, that to me is a concern that still exists. I don't know if that's reason enough to refuse a business license, but anyway, those are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chairman.
I've been referenced several times. So
Yes.
it's probably appropriate for me to say something at this point.
Please.
Brian Brown, Deputy District Attorney for the record. The code is somewhat limited in the ability to refuse a license, and I think appropriately so with regard to Commissioner Mitchell's concerns. You are able to request that the applicant agrees to comply with our laws, and we do have trespass laws and the use of that, use of private businesses, and it would be appropriate for you to continue the matter to try to obtain their agreement to comply with those laws, and there's sufficient evidence in the record for you to continue the matter until they answer your question on whether or not they will comply with our local laws, and specifically the one at issue is our trespass laws and using a business property without its permission.
All right. County Manager, do you have anything?
I don't have anything further. I do want to thank our District Attorney's Office, particularly Mr. Brown, as well as our Acting Community Development Director, Starnes, and his team, and the Sheriff's Office. They've been very instrumental in putting all this stuff together and preparing it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there any more public comment? Not seeing any, are you prepared to make a motion at this point?
Yeah, Chair, I mean, I don't love dragging things on and on. I like to get to a resolution, but I think it would make me feel better if we were to continue the item and specifically ask them to address this concern, if that's appropriate.
It is appropriate, and in fact, this matter has been continued once or twice, so it would be appropriate for you to continue it with the direction of staff that you would like the applicant to come in or to participate in whatever fashion you deem necessary.
Very good.
You good?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
So I, Commissioner Mitchell, move to continue sub-item T of item 27 with the specific instruction to staff to invite this company to either participate in our next meeting on November 18th, when we will continue this item to either in person or by Zoom, or to submit written comment to specifically address how they plan to resume operations without violating our trespass laws.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Thank you to everybody involved in helping us get to this point. On to item number 28, public comment. This is the second and final time of public comment. You can come up and say whatever you want.
You sing a song if you want.
Let's not encourage. Not seeing any, that brings us to item number 29, adjournment of all active and recessed boards on the agenda. It is 12:34. See you all in 2 weeks.